What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025, and we're back with another live here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. And if you are new to the channel, I'm glad that you are here. Hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. Or simply join the Discord and you should be notified in there. I know the viewer count is low right now, and I think I know why that is, because everybody, and I do mean nearly everybody, is talking about the Diddy verdict. Like, that's literally what has been clogging up my timeline everywhere that I look, whether I'm on Twitter, on here, on Instagram, it's everywhere. So that's probably why. So if you're talking about Diddy today, you about to get an influx of a lot of people coming to your stream or what or video or whatever the case may be. But I'm not here to talk about Diddy. I'm here to talk about this situation that happened in Chicago last week that really is not getting the amount of coverage that I feel it deserves. But before we get into all of that, let me acknowledge the people who are here so far or came in early. We got Hackson KT. We got Denise Sketchy at third time's the charm. Wallow J. Hackson said that I tried to post a stream before. No, she's saying third time's the charm because this is the third piece of content that I'm uploading today. Shout out to Wallow J. Shout out to Hackson. Shout out to Brother Man, to you. Shout out to Dark Titan. Shout out to Ernest for the 5. I appreciate it. We got Dimple Face. Brother Man, to you. We got Anita Harrell. We got DSM Sinister. Reparations Nation. Dewani. Isaac, and that is it so far. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get right into it. Oh, shout out to Tedra for the 10. She said, thank you for the great jam session on Saturday. I stayed the entire time. I can tell you put a lot of work into it. But first off, thanks for the super chat, and thank you for tuning in for nearly 6 hours. It was a long stream, but yeah, a lot of work went into that, a lot of prep went into that, but I'm so glad that it went off without a hitch. I want to do something again like that in the future, not too soon, but something again like that in the future. And not to the point where I have to wait until next Black Music Month to do it. Maybe something again, maybe before the year is out. But we'll see how it goes. But well, Miss Nisi, your name says Denise right there in the thing. You changed it back. You know what I mean. Hurricane Nisi. And usually I do that when you come up and I play your intro. But anyway, before we get into everything, put a 1 in the chat if you are familiar with the story. Put a 2 in the chat if you are not, or have very limited knowledge of this story. While I may not do a Michael Jackson birthday stream this year, mainly because, I did one last year. And what's crazy is I'm glad you brought that up, Wallow, because the Black Music Month Jam session is now the most watched video on my Rumble account. It was the Michael Jackson one for almost a year, but now the Black Music Month one has eclipsed it. All right, so I'm seeing some 2s, I'm seeing some 1s, and it's about a mix in here. So for those who are unaware of the story, you have this man who's in the picture named Charles Leto, and he is or was a lifeguard at a park in Chicago. And one day last week, I believe it was last Saturday, he got into a confrontation with 3 teenage boys. All 3 of them were Black, and he alleges that he was being attacked or they were trying to steal his bike or something like that, and he was defending himself, and he ended up shooting 2 of them. One of them ended up dying, and the one who died is in the picture in the corner. And the teens were 15 and 14. So one ended up dying, and another one suffered injuries, but they say he suffered life-threatening injuries. I think one got shot in the back and another got shot in the neck. And then he tried to shoot a third teen, but his aim was off and he missed him, and he shot multiple times and he couldn't get him. So he almost took out shot 3 teens, but he killed one of them. And what's interesting, which I found out, is the teen that he shot that is injured, that survived, is actually the cousin to Laquan McDonald. Now, I know many of us in here know who Laquan McDonald is. So that's why I titled the thumbnail Full Circle Tragedy. Well, now Charles Leto is currently in jail. He doesn't have a bond. The judge denied him a bail, so he's stuck in jail right now, and they're just waiting for court, situations. But he's claiming self-defense, but many people are looking at the video, because there was a video that went viral, but I'm not going to show it on here because of the grotesque nature of it. You know how YouTube gets down when you show stuff like that. But when people looked at that video, it doesn't line up with what he's claiming as self-defense. Like, none of it. Even the prosecutors are saying it's not lining up. So that's another reason why he doesn't have a bail, because the judge saw it too. But now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to go into these articles and these videos and see what they're talking about on there. So let me go ahead and start with this one. This one was posted on Saturday, June 28th, 2025.
That lifeguard charged with shooting and killing one teen and wounding another is scheduled to appear at a detention hearing tomorrow. This as the family of the boy who was killed demand justice. Relatives of 15-year-old Marjay Dotson create a makeshift memorial for the teen at the Westside Park where he was killed and his teenage friend was wounded just hours after charges are filed against the lifeguard accused of the crime. The teen's family members asked not to be identified on camera.
He was just 15. His bright spirit and loving heart touched us all. We cherish his memory forever.
Chicago police say 55-year-old Charles Leto now faces multiple charges, including murder, attempted murder, and aggravated battery and discharge of a firearm for the attack that happened around 7 o'clock Thursday night in the 1400 block of South Sacramento Drive in Douglas Park. According to a police report obtained by the ABC7I team, the alleged gunman is a lifeguard with the Chicago Park District. Witnesses tell police Leto opened fire on Dotson and his 14-year-old friend, Jeremy Herod, as they walked toward him. Dotson was struck in the back, while Herod, a cousin of Laquan McDonald, who was killed by Chicago police in 2014, was shot in the neck. While Herod remains hospitalized, Dotson was killed in the incident. According to a police report obtained by the ABC7I team, investigators say Leto has a concealed carry license and told officers that he was defending himself after he claims the teens attacked him and followed him and tried to steal his bike. A witness, along with family members of both teens, deny there was any altercation or provocation involving Leto. Meanwhile, those who knew and loved Marjay Dotson are grateful for the well wishes and support as they mourn their loss.
Your love, support, and understanding means so much to us during this incredibly difficult time. We just want.
Now, an attorney for one of the families of the victims says that neither of the boys was armed, and he would like to see prosecutors charge the suspect with a hate crime. That suspect is due in court tomorrow afternoon.
I had myself muted the whole time I was talking. Let me restart that. So y'all just saw the video right there, the news clip, and you saw the picture of the teen that was killed and the one that was injured. Like I said, the one that was injured was, or is, I don't want to say was, is the cousin to Laquan McDonald. Right. And someone said something earlier, DSM Sinister. How in the hell is this guy a lifeguard at 55 years old and he had a gun at the park and the pool? Exactly. I was sitting there saying to myself the same thing too. Now, nothing against people of a certain age. I have people of a certain age in this chat right now. But when I think of someone who is a lifeguard, I think of somebody who's young, someone who is in their late teens, 20s, 30s. But 55, being a lifeguard, I'm going to be honest with you. I've gone to the pool plenty of times in my life. I've been to several water parks, and I have never seen a lifeguard that was 55. They're usually very, very young. And most of them work there as a part of, as a summer. Well, that's typically a summer job. That's a seasonal job for sure. So that kind of, threw me off. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Yeah, and they said trying to steal a bike. I don't believe that at all. They said that they were not armed. They didn't pose a threat. And they said they were just walking by. So what? They were just walking by. You thought they was going to steal your bike to the point where it caused you to pull out your gun. And now that we are on that situation, let's talk about that gun part. And someone said it in the chat. Why did this man have a gun at the pool? We're going to ask the same question the usual suspects be asking of us when it comes to Carmelo Anthony, and asking them, why did he have a knife at a track meet? So we're going to ask the same question here, because the usual suspects ain't going to talk about this. They probably don't even know this exists. Why did this man have a gun at a pool? And then on top of that, the gun was not stored away somewhere. It wasn't like in a locker. Why were you there? Ms. Nisi, you said I'm not of a certain age. You know what? When I said this, Ms. Nisi, I said that with the intent that I knew you was going to say something in response to that. I said, let me say this because I know Ms. Nisi is going to say something. And it worked. I get the little gold star. William Best of the Lifeguard YMCA I go to is 80. Well, that's very 80. That's very interesting. But I'll put it this way. It's rare to see a lifeguard that age. I'll put it like that. Reparations says, well, F this trash, anti-black white supremacists, but I would have my gun at a pool. I have my firearm on my person at all times. I also don't go places I can't carry my person. Well, see, that's the thing, though. Reparations Nation, you're going there as I would guess you could say as a guest. This guy worked there. So I don't know. Maybe it's like it's different. I'm not sure. Because they're going to ask him, why did he have the gun there at that pool? Because I'm just saying anything can happen at any given time. Clearly something did right here. Brother man said he initially claimed they attacked him after a verbal altercation before a bike was even mentioned. Right. Because like I said, I can't show the video on here, but if you look at the video, his story does not line up with what actually was shown in the video at all. So let's continue to go on to the next article. This one right here. This was posted on June 30th and it was updated yesterday. Douglas Park shooting, not lifeguard's first accusation of shooting without justification. So this guy has a history. Now look at this right here. And Bernice just talked about Bernice mentioned something else, but there's something else that's mentioned here too. Charles Leto avoided charges in connection with a February 2023 shooting of neighbors' dogs. Let me read that part again. Charles Leto avoided charges in connection with February 2023 shooting of his neighbor's dogs. Now, I read a little bit into this. According to what I read, he shot 2 dogs. One of them died. Now, why does this sound so familiar? Because he shot 2 boys, one of them died. The difference is that he avoided charges with the dogs and he got charged with the shooting of the boy. Well, the boys, actually, yeah, because he shot both of them and he probably got an attempted one because he tried to take out a third one too. Let's look into this. A Chicago Park District lifeguard accused of shooting 2 teens last week, killing one, is the same man who avoided charges 2 years ago after shooting 2 dogs, one fatally, and engaged in an hours-long standoff with authorities, 2 police sources and the dog's owner tell WGN. Now, think about that. This guy got into a standoff with the police after shooting 2 dogs. Jacque Corvus Michels said Monday that she's still traumatized by the February 2023 shooting of her dogs Squishy and Okie In the alley outside her home while she was taking out the trash, Squishy was killed. Oki survived but needed 8 hours of surgery. Corvus Michels learned Sunday that the man who shot her dogs, 55-year-old Charles Leto, is now facing charges that include homicide and attempted homicide in connection with a Thursday evening shooting at Douglas Park, where he worked as a lifeguard. Marjay Dotson, 15, was killed, and Jeremy Herod, age 14, was hospitalized. A third victim, another 15-year-old, was fired at during the incident but was not shot. She says, I don't understand why he's working for Chicago Park District with children and he's bringing a gun. So this is coming from the woman whose dogs were shot by this dude, the same guy, back in 2023, where one of her dogs died and the other one had to get 8 hours worth of surgery. She said, I don't understand why he's working for the Chicago Park District with children and he's bringing a gun. Even she's saying that. No, Dimple Face, not an hour-long standoff, an hours-long standoff, meaning more than 1 hour, multiple hours. No charges were filed in the 2023 case because detectives did not pursue them. Surprise, surprise. Even though the shooting resulted in a SWAT team response and an hours-long standoff at Leto's Lakeview home. So even with that, y'all, Operation Protect the White Boy. Operation Protect the White Boy in full effect. They said they didn't charge no charges against this dude back in 2023 because they didn't pursue them. Not because there was no evidence there. They just chose not to charge him. Even though there was evidence there that he did what he did, and he had an hours-long standoff with SWAT at his home after he did what he did. It says Leto is a concealed carry license and firearm owner's identification and card holder. According to a police report obtained by WGN, Leto told the officer the dogs, quote, kept moving towards him in an aggressive manner, placing him in fear of his life, causing him to fire at both dogs 3 times. It seems to me this guy loves to shoot 3 times. Corvus Michels said her dogs, a back boxer Labrador and a black Labrador, were rescues and not aggressive pets. She says she reached out to the attorney representing the families of the teen boys who were attacked last week. She says, if we can be of any assistance with this case of the 2 young men, I would definitely be happy to help. Corvus Michels told WGN. I just wanted somebody to do something because this man should not be out. He shouldn't even have a gun. I don't care about your military background. Apparently, this guy must have a military background. Corvus Michels said she would like police to revisit her case. Excuse me. Attorney Jane Ingalls, representing Leto, says she has no information about a 2023 incident beyond what has publicly been reported, and she noted there is no record of arrest or charges in court records. Well, duh, because we just read they didn't pursue them. It says Charles Leto is a Marine veteran who served his country. I don't know why they love to lead with that crap like it means anything in the grand scheme of things. It's a lot of people who were in the military at one point who have committed felonious level crimes. It goes on to say he was a dedicated advocate for preserving Douglas Pool as an important community resource. We are committed to ensuring that his actions are understood in full context and that his rights are protected as this matter proceeds, and he currently is now in custody. Exactly, Miss Nisi, and you speaking as former military personnel, you already know. But they love to lead with that because they figure if I throw in the information about him being a part of the military, then that will soften the blow. No, that doesn't mean anything. Exactly, Dimpleface. Roger Fordson, remember him? And what happened with him? Notice we haven't heard much of anything about that story in probably about a year. Now I got one more article to go over, y'all. One more. Like I told you, it's not going to be a long live. And this one says, Lifeguard resigns. Hold on, y'all. All right. So we got this right here. It says lifeguard resigns after deadly Douglas Park shooting caught on video. Of course he did. He was either going to resign or he was going to get fired because they wasn't about to keep him. But he said, let me just go ahead and resign. But let's see what they're talking about.
Robin Sherrill, the Chicago Park District tonight, says it's launched a comprehensive internal review in the wake of the shooting. But West Side community members want more, including a public apology from the Park District.
In Douglas Park, prayers and a call for action in the wake of searing tragedy.
We are not accepting the fact that our young people's blood can be spilled on the grounds of a place that they're supposed to be safe at.
This gathering at the scene of last Thursday's shooting that killed 15-year-old Marjay Dotson and wounded 14-year-old Jeremy Herod, who, according to Herod's family, continues to fight for his life.
Everybody deserves to live, but we do not deserve to die by someone who is supposed to keep kids safe.
55-year-old Charles Leto, who was working as a Douglas Park lifeguard, remains behind bars and appeared in court for a second time after being charged with first-degree murder.
We are going to let the criminal justice system work, and we anticipate trying this case.
But prosecutors say surveillance video shared by CWB Chicago contradicts Leto's claim of self-defense, and questions are now mounting about a 2023 incident in Lakeview that brought the SWAT team, in which a man claimed self-defense when he shot 2 dogs, killing one of them. That man, also named Charles Leto, wasn't charged by police.
How is it that he was able to then work for the Park District?
Community members now circulating a petition calling for the Park District to apologize and make changes in security and hiring practices. In a statement, the Chicago Park District said, "We look forward to meeting with petition organizers and stakeholders to address their concerns and work together toward accountability, healing, and lasting change."
The Park District says Leto is no longer employed by the district after being placed on unpaid suspension last Friday.
He needs to be on more than just unpaid suspension. But peep that, again, this guy got away with taking out a dog. Even when SWAT came to the house, he got away with it. That's why the woman who's the owner of the dogs was like, what in the world? Why was he even being around kids? And had a gun at the pool. I mean, he got away with one crime. What made you think he was not going to try it again if he felt pressed enough to do it? See, this is what I'm talking about. When you let people like this just skate on by, what makes you think they're not going to tempt fate a second or third time? Now, like someone said in the chat earlier, yes, he's been charged. I think first degree was one of the charges he had. We'll see if it stick. Now we got to see if the charges, of course, will stick. Number one, go to trial. Number two, and then see what the verdict is. Number three, and then number four, see what the sentencing is looking like. That's the 4 stages right there. We're only in stage 1 with the charge. This is the stage where you don't get excited about the charge, because charges can come today and they be gone tomorrow. But yeah, basically, to me, it sounds like he sounds like a guy who he did stuff on impulse and decides, if I can get away with it, why not? And he's the same thing here that he did with them dogs. I was in fear for my life and I was defending myself, which I don't believe. And if when y'all looked at the news clip, y'all saw a little glimpse of the video. They played a little bit of it for those who never saw it. But I'll try to stay on top of this. I try to stay on top of this story as time continues to go on. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat if anybody would like to come up and speak on it. The reason why I'm not going to play it, Dimple Face, is because it involves a firearm. And I remember one time I did a live stream here on YouTube, and it was a video of this white guy trying to kill this black woman inside of a store. I forgot what store it was. And I just had the video paused on the part where the gun was showing, and YouTube ended up shutting the stream down. I kid you not. Some of y'all may remember that when that happened. People was like, Torian, where did the stream go? And that's because I just had it paused right there. because I had it paused on the gun for too long. So that's why I'm not playing it. Wallow, what's going on?
Hold on, Torian. What's going on, everybody in the chat? I remember that video too, cause you paused it like for like 5 seconds and then boom, video was gone. I remember that live bullet on. First of all, I'll send my condolences out to the family and also to the dogs, man. The dogs didn't deserve to die like that. Like, damn, if you pulling a gun out on a dog, he trigger happy. This is a trigger happy dude. Like, good God. Like, don't get me wrong, some of these dogs are wild. I ain't gonna say that, but damn, kill the dogs and then you kill the team. First off, like everybody's saying, why do you have your gun should be in your car? It shouldn't be out in the pool in front of everybody. What would have happened if another kid grabbed your gun and shot somebody else? And then everybody like, well, why you got your gun
Well,
out?
that's the thing. This guy's claiming that they were trying to steal his bike. So he apparently didn't have a car, or at least he didn't drive the car that day, and he rode the bike there.
Well, but I think I haven't seen the video. I don't want to see the video.
He had a bike because they were trying to. His claim is that they were trying to steal his bike.
Yeah, we just saw a glimpse of them just walking up, and he just pulled a gun out. That's literally what he just did. Like, dude, you literally, I think, like he just literally pulled it out, pause, and just started shooting. Like, why would you do that? You trigger happy as hell. And then I think the reason why it's not like gone viral yet, because I think Chicago don't want all these problems right now. This is my opinion. I think with Brandon Johnson, I understand crime is down in Chicago. I've done the research. Shout out to Chicago getting the crime down. Also, shout out to Baltimore. I saw Baltimore crime is down. Shout out to y'all, but they don't need all this stuff right now. They don't want all them folks in Chicago outside. Brandon Johnson already got enough problems going on as it is. So for this story to go viral, oh no. Hey, he's like, hey man, I already got the migrants on my head. I already got the black folks already on my head. And then this comes out, and then it finds out he shot somebody. Please, social media, please don't blow this up. They're probably praying, please don't blow this up. But we gonna stay on top of this, Torian. I'm glad you brought this to the family, and I'll land my plane there. B1.
Shout out to Wallow for coming up. I'm gonna drop the link again in case anybody didn't catch it. If anybody else if anyone else wants to come up. But yeah, it's a sad story either way. This situation right here. Only 15 years old. That's crazy. And the other one in the hospital fighting for his life because he got shot in the neck. And the other one is probably traumatized, even though he didn't get shot, but he got shot at. But yeah, like Wallow said, he just appears to be someone who's extremely trigger happy. I mean, you had SWAT come to your house for taking out someone's dog because you claim that they were being aggressive with you. And then they didn't even charge you. Well, it doesn't look like anybody else will be coming up to speak this evening. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead now and end the live. Like I told you, this wasn't going to be a long live. The next live that I do will be on Friday, and it's going to be on the that guy Brian Kohlberger. He was the guy that killed those college campus students in Idaho. I'm sure some of y'all probably heard about it. Well, his trial just ended yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? So that's going to be the live on Friday. So make sure y'all are back for that one. And with that being said, everybody, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe, and most importantly, be one.